What's going on, everyone? So, Max Christie, we got news earlier today that Max Christie is expected to be re-signed by the Los Angeles Lakers. So, Max Christie is a restricted free agent. I've seen a lot of people be like, oh, why would he stick around with the Lakers? He's not going to stick around with the Lakers. He's going to leave the Lakers, this, that, and the other. It's not really up to him. It's up to the Lakers. So, he's a restricted free agent. It's to help people understand, because I do see so many comments about it. It's the Austin Reeves situation from last year, right? Last offseason, Lakers, there was a lot of concerns like, well, what if he gets this max contract? Difference is Austin Reeves was highly, or at the time, looked at as like potentially being highly sought after, and ultimately nobody threw their hat in the ring at trying to acquire Austin Reeves. Now, part of that was likely, how many teams wanted to tie up the money to go and sign Austin Reeves to then just have the Lakers match it, which is why very rarely do you see a restricted free agent go to another team unless that current team doesn't want them or doesn't have any plans for them, so then they end up getting signed elsewhere. The Lakers have plans for Max Christie. Lakers absolutely like Max Christie, want to keep him around. This kind of benefits the Lakers, right? So last offseason now, one of the things that I talked about going into the season is like, do the Lakers try to mask Max Christie so that they don't have to pay him a ton of money? Because the Lakers are kind of locked in financially. And I had a lot of people kind of scoff at that. And I don't necessarily think that they did that. And I even said that then, that I don't necessarily think the Lakers would do that. But it's just a little odd that they never played him, really. And like some of our best lineups, some of our best five-man units were with Max Christie in his ability to, hit the open shot, create for himself, play some defense. But regardless, whatever the reasoning as to why, part of it I think was just Darvin Ham, right? But like when I made the video last offseason about like, hey, like what if the Lakers kind of just keep him limited as far as minutes go and kind of in spots? Reason I was saying that was because of our guard depth, right? Because at the time it was like Gabe Vincent, D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, right? It was like, okay, LeBron's gonna have the ball in his hands at times. You got Taurean Prince, right? You got Cam Reddish. There was like several reasons of like, okay, they're probably not going to play Max Christie. And I was like, if it's close, it kind of makes sense not to play Max Christie just so you don't have to pay him, 15, 20 million. Where now he's probably somewhere anywhere from like, 5 million to like maybe 10 million a year, right? And it'll be interesting to see how the Lakers decide to approach this contract, because from a Lakers standpoint, you want to sign him as long as possible because you're not going to have to pay him a ton, right? So if you're the Lakers, you're hoping to do something like, 4-year, $24 million, or $32 million deal, something like that, right? Where you're paying him like $6 to $8 million a year for 4 years. If you're Max Christie, I think you're trying to sign a smaller, like 2 years, like even if you're going to take less money. So like, let's say they'll give you $8 million for 4 years. Like, hey, we'll give you $8 million a year for the next 4 years on a 4-year deal. Right? Max Christie is almost in his best interest to go, tell you what, give me 2 years at $5 million a year. And that way, if he's great, he can step up. Because this season coming up, I really think Max Christie, you're going to see a lot more of, for one. And two, I think this could be his like breakout stride year, because the Lakers are going to make trades one way or another. It's the only way that they can really round out and properly restructure their roster, right? Because they don't have any money to spend. LeBron's very likely going to get a max contract. D'Lo, even if he opts out, like it's just the Lakers are essentially just vet minimum deals. Maybe you could get to your full mid-level exception, but it's more likely than not vet minimums and then the taxpayer mid-level. And even if you get to your full mid-level, then you're hard capped. It's just, so more likely than not, vet minimums and maybe a mid-tier salary is what the Lakers are looking at. Also, if the Lakers do sign a like let's say D'Lo does leave and they do sign a full mid-level guy, they might not be able to pay Max Christie a new contract to keep him around. So they might lose both if they did something like that, where Max Christie's kind of your only young piece that you have for the foreseeable future. So it's another thing to keep in mind. But when it comes to Max Christie, more likely than not, what's going to happen is the Lakers are either A, they're going to trade for a star, or B, they're going to take, D'Lo, Rui, Reeves, and turn them into like, a DeJounte Murray and whatever, like a Jalen Suggs or something like that. Just names that come to my head that I do want, but just names that came to my head, right? So don't take it too literal. But point is, Lakers are likely going to take 3 guys, maybe 4 guys, and turn them into 2 or 3 higher upgraded guys, right? So with that, may very likely be a bigger need for guys like Max Christie, for guys like Christian Wood, right? So I've talked about when Christian Wood announced he was opting in, I was like, that's good for the Lakers, and it gives the Lakers Rui Hachimura insurance, because more likely than not, the Lakers trade Rui Hachimura. Well, now you need somebody that can step in and play that power forward role in certain spots, could even play the 3. Like one of the things that I wanted from Christian Wood, throw him out there on Michael Porter Jr., right? We saw him defend Kevin Durant. Great. He's defended other guys out on the perimeter before to success. So it was just something that bothered me, but I digress. Sticking with Max Christie, right? Like the idea was that, like, okay, Christian Wood gives you Rui insurance. Well, Max Christie could give you Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell insurance, right? Because let's say D'Lo walks, right? And then you end up trading Austin Reeves and like a first plus like whatever, maybe it's Gabe Vincent or whatever, but essentially Austin Reeves for, say, DeJounte Murray. Well, now you got your point guard, okay, got Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Well, you need your 2 guard. Maybe you could keep Taurean Prince and move him to the 2 guard. Or you could go, hey, Max Christie is a legit 2-way player. He could step in and play that role, play a bigger role. We saw the leaps from year 1 to year 2 of Max Christie. So this might be a real, like, here you go, kid, time to step up type season. And the other side of things is the Lakers sell the farm to go get a Trae Young. So, like, let's say the Lakers do end up doing the Trae Young deal, which I've expressed I'm not super stoked about that. I know many of you are not very stoked about it. But if the Lakers have a chance to get him, they probably get him. But it's not what this is about. Point is that let's say they do that deal. Well, now you got 3 max guys, and you're going to be very limited on what you can work with. Now, the Lakers would still have like 6, 7 guys that they'd have to round out the roster. And again, you're still at vet minimums and you're taxpayer mid-level. So it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't change necessarily like the Lakers' opportunity to add some pieces. But what it does do is just the higher quality, right? And amount of pieces. But now let's say you get Trae Young, right? Okay, you have Trae, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. Well, Jared Vanderbilt, what if he can kind of look how he did before injury, where he was giving you double-digit scoring and was actually a real threat on the 5-out offense, right? And then what if Max Christie can step in and be that legit 2-way starting caliber, like a KCP type. I'm not saying he has to be as good because he's still very young. He'd only be, 21? So he'd still be incredibly young. But I'm talking about like that just legit 3-and-D at the 2-guard spot. Can hit the open shot, can occasionally make a play for himself, but more so than anything, switch and defend multiple positions. Right now you got, again, let's say he could be that Royce O'Neal, that KCP type player. Right? KCP is coming off of like an all defensive type season. So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't necessarily think he'll be that good, but if he can be good enough, right? If he can be an actual point of attack on ball defensive piece, to pair that alongside, say, a Trae Young, which you're definitely going to need, and then a Jared Vanderbilt, right? Now you got some youth and athleticism out on the perimeter in Jared Vanderbilt and Max Christie. You got some switchability and versatility out there. Max Christie and his ability to hit the open shot hopefully continues and only improves. Again, we saw the leaps that he took from year 1 to year 2. What does he look like year 2 to year 3? And then, you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and then plus, Christian Wood, maybe you still keep Gabe Vincent. Torian Prince, Cam Reddish, right? Maybe you go and sign an Andre Drummond. Now you're still 9, 10 guys deep. So this, in my opinion, may end up being kind of the year of Max Christie. Now, will he have like that Austin Reeves year where he just broke out? I mean, that would be spectacular, right? I just doubt that happens because, one, if they do get another start. Now, if they got somebody like a DeJounte Murray, I think it's possible. But I think you can maybe able to see him kind of maybe get more of an opportunity. But if you get a Trae Young, between Trae, LeBron, and Anthony Davis, whoever's out there with them isn't going to get much opportunity. The ball's always going to be in Trae or LeBron's hands. They're always going to be making the play. Max Christie's basically just relegated to a spot-up 3-and-D guy, right? But if you were to get like a DeJounte Murray, I think Max Christie might have a little more opportunity to maybe step up and shine a little bit. Again, just using guys as an example. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts on Max Christie? Do you want the Lakers to keep and retain Max Christie? Do you think, nah, just let him go? Again, I would feel whatever your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it, so let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.